Welcome to It's All About Connection, NVC with Dr. B.
We had an intro participant email us, and Cindy is going to read it.
Yep, because I think she has a question in here. Okay, I'm not reading the whole email, but I'll read the part that I think she's asking. I would like to ask you, though, if most things we say, like great job, then that's an evaluation just as poor job. And if we need to keep communication based on facts, observations, needs, and feelings, then we're left with very little words to actually say much if the things we say are not actual feelings, needs, or facts. I'm just trying to deeply understand NVC, which is why I signed up for the class. This then pretty much means that the way we do most things at work, school, sports, friends, etc., are mainly focused on evaluations, judgments, and thoughts. Thanks for putting these ideas into practice-based systems so we can learn to use these invaluable tools for humanity. Wait, I added a judgment. Again, thank you. Um, so there you go. She's got a question. I know you didn't. Are you hearing what the question is?
I think so. Something about how we're supposed to move through the world and communication if most of what we say is evaluative.
Yeah, she wants to know, like it doesn't leave her with much to say if all you ever have to say is your facts, the observations, the feelings and the needs and requests like that. It's we would be stuck with not much to say. Even
Yeah.
right now, like how would we even have this conversation right now if that was all that we had?
It sounds like a listener sent you an email asking a question.
And I'm feeling a little intrigued and I have a need for contribution. Um, do you think I'm hitting that right?
Do you really want to know what I think?
No, I was just trying to stay with
I
observation, feeling,
know.
needs, requests.
And I
Yeah.
was making a connecting request.
Yes, you were. Look at that. Yes. So, do you
Also,
have an answer?
I think there's this idea that maybe it's just an idea I have, but like that just speaking, all the time maybe in um kind of like non-evaluative terms can be boring, quote unquote boring. If you're just going
That,
around, you're like, that
that's
tree is green. That is, like it leaves you with no opinions or thoughts. But yeah, we live in an evaluative world. We're meant to, I think, we're kind of like evaluative beings.
well,
We're
I
meant to
mean,
have opinions.
evaluation plays a role, right, in how we're moving in the world. But I I have a pretty direct answer to this question, which I think the question is, how do we speak, or what are we left with if this is all we're ever supposed to do? I think that's what the question is. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
So let's bookmark the conversation that you just were starting about. That judgments actually maybe have a place, and let's get to that at the after. I think I more directly address this question, which is
Mhm.
I don't always speak in only facts, observations, needs, and feelings. Like I would find that almost impossible. I mean, I think I would go crazy if that's all that I ever did. It just it Yeah, I don't and I do well, okay, couple things. One thing is she forgot to mention that you can say your thoughts in NVC. Just name them as thoughts. I think. That's it. I think this or I think that. It's just
I'm
trying to get
having I'm having
I'm
thoughts
I'm having
that
thoughts, right? So there's that. And then also, I don't think we necessarily have to only speak with facts, observations, needs, and feelings, or even name our thoughts in every conversation that we have. But I think that most people find NVC to be very helpful when you're in a conflict situation and you're trying to move back into connection, that this is when, if you could get real clear and state your thoughts as your thoughts and the observations as observations and feelings as feelings and needs as needs and make requests, in particular connecting requests. If you're sticking with just that template while you're in a conflict situation, and that that's when I think you really want to employ sticking only with those particular um, pieces of conversation. I don't think it's and I don't think it's in every situation that you ever have, like she says here, at work or school or sports or friends. Um, and at the same time, I do think it would be nice to move away from saying "great job" or "poor job," right?
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before too. Just what does that even mean to say good job?
Yeah, it doesn't give the person any information, and yeah, it's something about it's also like trying to put together, the person with the deed as opposed to just talking about what actually is occurring and what is the impact of what is occurring. Like that is more helpful for people. I just think it would be really nice. I mean, I know I didn't do this with my children, and I still don't. I probably still use great or poor or those kinds of words in everyday conversation. But I think it would be really nice if parents really got it down, and instead of saying "great job," they could say, you know, when when you ate everything on your plate, I was feeling really a lot of joy around that and having to do with your well-being and your health, But that's a lot. I mean, I think we've come up with "great job" because it's a shortcut, right? And sometimes a shortcut is it's nice to have a shortcut. Um, And when you're in conflict, I think most people would agree that if you're using NVC, things do tend to slow down a lot in the conversation. So you're being more mindful, you are slowing down what you're saying, you're maybe pausing and getting clear on what needs are in place, self-connecting. So it's you really are having to slow down. So a shortcut is maybe not so necessary when you're in the middle of a conflict situation to
Yeah, it
make
seems
sure.
like oh, do you wanna
Yeah,
go?
no,
I
go
was just
ahead.
gonna say, yeah, it seems like those shorthands we've created have, um, or just not maybe helpful in conflict.
I think that they could really make things much more complicated and messy and unclear. It's if you
Mhm.
you know, like people there's so much room for story making if you're not real clear with what's your thought, what is your observation, what's your feeling, what's your need. Like if we tend to say poor job or whatever evaluative phrase you want to use, like because you just said, like, people don't understand what that actually means, so you have to fill in a lot of the
Mhm.
meaning there. And most of us fill in based on our past history, our trauma, like we make shit up when we don't have a level of clarity. So, yeah. So, bottom line is the answer to this question is no, you don't have to use it. I wouldn't recommend, and I don't in every single situation, every time I open up my mouth. I'm not doing it now. Um, but when I am in a conflict, I do try to slow down and I do try to just state my thoughts as my thoughts, state my observations and feelings and needs and requests, and try to keep it only to that when I can. And it's even better if the other person has the skill as well, because I mean, you and I, we've done a few podcast episodes where I'm explaining what it sounds like when two people are employing it. Like it's just, actually, I had a friend yesterday was sharing with me that she and another friend had a conflict, but they're both skilled in NVC. And she told me this morning, she was like, wow, it went so great, because you just stick with the template. It really helps to minimize any additional agita.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it lends a lot of clarity and understanding. And even if you're not in like direct conflict with someone, even if you're just listening to someone who is having a conflict, it can really, what's the word I'm looking for? Just help them, when you
mhm.
reflect and take needs guesses for them. So,
Yeah, so in those circumstances, it can be very helpful just to stick with the observation, feeling, needs, requests. Definitely, that's another place that I would highly recommend employing all the different components and trying to keep away from how we usually respond. Um, so hopefully that gives some clarity to our participant. But you were also saying earlier, and I want to circle back to that before we end, that there are maybe like sometimes you enjoy using judgments or that there's a place for judgment.
yeah. Yeah, I think there's a place for judgment and evaluation and having an opinion about something. I
Hmm.
think that can be the spice of life.
Yeah,
But
but don't you think that most of the time, like your opinion is, if you were really to start to like, you know, pick it apart, underneath it, the opinion is based in a need that you have?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, maybe there's something around it for me. It's like not always fun to get right to the need or express in non-evaluative terms.
I
Like
don't know.
maybe
Wouldn't that
my
be
own.
weird? Wouldn't it be funny to have like a TV show where people, that's all they do? That's the all they the whole show is people just speaking in this way.
I don't know how long someone could watch that.
I don't know. We should try to do it. One episode, we should just purely stick only with thoughts, feelings, needs, observations, like only. See, like make it be like a little a game show for us.
Yeah, we could do that. See how long it stays fun
Yeah,
or if it's
probably
even
not.
fun at all.
Probably not very long at all. Um, anyways, also before we get off, somebody, I can't remember who it was, paid us a compliment about our podcast and how that it's not so much just even about the content that we're putting out, but it's about that we do model the process in the way that we speak with one another. Maybe not all the time, obviously, like we just said, but that people are getting to actually hear it. Like, what does it sound like to stay in NVC process with each other? And I feel really good about that because um, I don't think that that's even something that we're doing intentionally. I think it's just something that's happening because this is what we do.
Natural flow and ease. You felt really good about it?
Yeah,
What does
yeah.
that mean?
Um, I
Is good a
felt.
feeling?
I don't think good's on the list.
No, good good is not on the list.
I felt. Um, I felt proud. I felt joyful. Felt happy. Yeah, those are some of the things that I felt when I heard that. It met my need for ease, and flow and contributing, authenticity, maybe growth too, because we tend to just use it, right? We just do it. But even then,
Mhm.
every now and then, I felt really good. See, like I've been doing this for how long? Humana, humana. Anyways, I'm glad you could get a good little giggle out of that. Um, what is our empathy warm line? And people, sign up for the intro. Come on,
Yes,
join
sign up.
us. Yeah, we've been getting lots of people signing up lately. It's been great to have lots of new folks in there from all over the place. So
Oh, that's
come to.
great.
Was it great, or do you feel something other than great?
Nope, I just simply feel great.
Okay, wise guy. Wise guy. That's an evaluation. We could go
Oh,
on
yeah.
and on and on.
Never ending. Our empathy warm line number is 850-706-0488.
I'm back at my home computer where I have the little piece of paper where it's stuck to. So good job. You got it right.
Thank you.
All
Good
right. And
job.
on that note, we will send the music out to you folks.
You've been listening to It's All About Connection, NVC with Dr. B. For more episodes and guest bios, please visit us at www.thebigbmethod.com. That's www.thebigbmethod.com. And remember, empathy first.